What's up, guys? Today I figured I'd show you how to set up this Softbaton U1 with an array of remotes. Now, I'm gonna first say this. I've been messing with this for quite a few hours, and it is no Logitech Harmony. This company sucks ass, in my opinion. Their database that they claim that they have, 10,000 items and this and that in their database. Maybe they do, but I'll be honest, Logitech was really good. And I would like to, for those of you that don't know about the Logitech, you'd hook this up to your computer, and like I have record TV, listen to radio, and then watch TV, watch DVD, listen to CDs. This did it all, and it shows, it's war. And the buttons, I had this apart several times and cleaned it, and to the point where some of the buttons aren't functioning. I did buy a backup before Radio Shack went out of business, like $29.99, man. And I was gonna go ahead and spend the $89.99 on the 665, but I got to thinking, what if Logitech pulls, their servers? What's gonna happen then? They're not gonna support new devices because they discontinued it. And like I said, the Logitech Elite that is $326, people are fucking crazy. I would never pay that. They got a rock in their head and they're stupid for paying it, and that allows these companies to charge ridiculous amounts of money for that. So with that said and out of the way, because that kind of has been in my craw, we're going to set this to the side and we're going to focus on the Softbaton U1. Now there is an X1, and what you're going to need also is a cell phone. So you got, this works with Android or Apple. You're going to go to Google Play. That's what you're going to download. You're going to install it. Once it installs, you're going to go ahead, you're going to open it up. It's going to greet you. And this is what bothers me. Logitech, I can understand why you needed to create an account. These people, you don't need to create an account. So you're going to have to give your email address, and if I were you, I would just give a fake one that you don't use, or maybe that's not such a good idea, because if they give an update, you're going to have to create a password. And right down here, it says no account, go to register. Well, I already did that, so I'll cut back when I'm logged in. Okay, so I'm logged in. Now, if you're new to this, check your spam, because that's where it ended up going. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to keep this or not, but I figured I would do a video anyway. I watched some others do videos on this. Some people had problems, and there was one video that actually showed it working, but it wasn't the kind of setup that I have. So we got the U1. We're going to click on that. You're going to click on already purchased, and then you're going to click on what says confirm. And then it's going to ask you, and I'm only going to put while using the app. This screen is going to ask you to hold on the remote itself, E and or minus an E. So over here, you're going to hold these two. You're going to see it's pairing. It's going to pop up on your phone. You're going to click connect, and then you see over on the remote it says add device. So before we could do that, you're going to have to pick your country, and you're going to click done. Now you're going to see add device here, and you're going to see add device there. So we can go ahead, click Add Device. This is going to pop up. So manufacturer is the name of who made your TV or whatever you're trying to use. Device model, that's the model of, you know, what you're using. So this is where it kind of gets frustrating. Now you can take these remotes, the originals, and make this one learn by pointing them at each other, but it is no Logitech remote again. It is far, far, it's light years away from one another. So I want to use Vizio, and my and I don't know if you have to capitalize this, but my model number is the E65-E1. So if we go ahead and click, let me minimize that, search, that's what it comes up with. Now that is not it, but I must say it works. And I tried pairing with this remote, the original remote here, and assigning all the keys, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't want to even turn the TV on. So that tells you what kind of piece of junk this actually is. We're just going to go ahead and click that, and it allows you to change the name, which I'm going to because that is not the name I want. I'm just going to call it TV, and then you click Done. Then down here there's an icon you can click, which they did select appropriately, a TV. Then you click Next. So now it's going to start uploading, and your remote is going to start downloading. Okay, so it brings us to this page, and you can see everything has already been mapped, and it says TV over here. Now with the Logitech, remember, there's software, and you can put it in order that you want your TV, your receiver, your DVD, whatever, to turn on at once. And that's what I'm trying to do with this. But first we got to load all our devices this way, which is a pain in the ass. And like I said, I mapped these all out. Now if you download this, let me re-say that. If you search for it and you allow it to find through their database, it's going to be green. If you're learning from the remote, everything is going to be highlighted in blue. So we're just going to click Done, and TV is the first thing that's going to be done. Let's see if it turns it on. All right, so it powered up. That is one thing I will say, that, you know, at least when you downloaded it, even though it's not the right model number, it's still powered up. Something, you know, I couldn't get to do before. Now if we go ahead and press the hamburger, you're not going to see it, so I'm just going to tell you. Hamburger button, it's going to bring the menu up, which it would not do before. So if we click on OK, you know, that takes us in. If we click the back arrow, it's just kind of like a little left-sided U. It's right below the channel button on the remote. It's going to take us back, and then our scroll button, you know, up, down. That works so great. After quite a few hours assigning these things, it did not work before. And then let's see, for the volume, okay, my speakers are off because I don't use them. Now if we wanted to get out, we should be able to press menu, and it does. All right, so let's try and type in my receiver and search and see what comes up. All right, so that looks like it has come up. Before I was typing a dash in, and this is where it really pisses me off with this company. If you don't, like I added the dash between the STR dash, it didn't work. So it's going to do the same thing, upload and download to the receiver. All right, so it brings that screen up. Everything should be mapped out accordingly to the original. So this little scroll wheel here, let's see if I can get some better light. We're gonna scroll down to Sony, and actually what I want to do before we do anything is I want to click done, and I want to change the device name. The picture of the icon is fine with me, and then we're gonna click back, and now we'll come over here and see if that turns on. Okay, so that looks like that turned on. Right away I see that it doesn't have the input changing, so we're gonna have to come back over here to our cell phone. We're gonna click receiver, and then we're gonna click remote keys, and here is the input button. So I want to assign this input button to change stuff. So let's learn from the original remote. All right, so we're gonna click learn from original remote, and then it's telling you right here, press and hold the button on the original remote. And if you see over here, it says learning. This is the Softbaton. So what I want to assign to this is the inputs. Okay, but the input button here does not work and cycle through on the receiver. Instead, you have DVD game, so we're not going to be able to use that button. So let's cancel that added error, and these macro buttons, I guess what we'll do is we'll click one of them, learn from original remote, and that is in learning, and we'll go ahead and press DVD, and you'll see that's loading. Down here it says successful. So we'll go ahead and do another one, and we'll learn from original remote, and we'll do the game one this time. And I'm not going to pan over there, it just says learning. That was successful. Learn from original remote, and this is the SAT and cable button that I'm using now. Okay, see that failed? It's just going to retry, and then it was successful. So we're going to just X out of there and then click back, and then we're going to take our Softbaton. Let's see if those change. All right, so the red one should be DVD, and it looks like they're all changing. And then if I tap the very last one, it goes from AM to FM. So that's good. The only thing is I don't like the order that I did it in, so I'm gonna go ahead and readjust that. Okay, so what I did was I remapped those. So the red one now is SAT, and then the green one is DVD, and then the yellow one is game, and then the blue one, the last one, is FM, and it will switch back and forth. All right, so we're gonna add another one, and we're gonna find the manufacturer, click search, and it looks like, you know, it's right. I don't like that icon. I'm gonna use this one instead, so you can change that to your liking. And we're gonna click next, and again, it's gonna upload. All right, so we're gonna click done, and then we're gonna click change the name because I don't want that way. So we got them in order. And by the way, if you want to change these, say you make a mistake and you have TV down here, I'll show you how to do that later on. But right now, I just want to get this done. All right, so we're going to scroll down to DVD and we're going to see if the DVD player turns on. Okay, that's turning on. Seems like there's a delay with this one. Logitech seemed like it uploaded a lot quicker. Alright, let's see if some of these things work here. Try the eject tray. No go. Okay, so we're going to have to come back over here. So this button here should be assigned to eject. And we lost connection. As you can see, that's been happening to me quite a lot. So now it's going to pair again. The app is definitely buggy. See, it's acting stupid again. I'm gonna have to reopen it and connect. Now it's pairing. And like I said, they need a lot of work on this thing. So we gotta go back into DVD and then remote keys. And for some reason, this one here, what we're gonna do is tap and learn from remote. That puts it into the learning mode again. And as you can see here, there's the eject, and that one does work. So we're gonna, you can hear the DVD player go. That was successful. So now we should be able to use that button there. Okay, it went to close. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to open that up. We're going to put a DVD in. Okay, so it looks as though it's playing. If I click the back, which should be previous, it's not doing that. Yeah, let's see. So our play works, our speed works, rewind works, and okay, stop works. I was going to say that was another one I was having a problem with. And let's see, menu is not working. Detail, okay, that works. All right, so we got to go back into DVD and remote keys, and we're going to assign this hamburger button to setup. It is learn from original remote, and then click setup. And then the other one we want to remap is the back button, learn from original remote. And then we're going to click on return on the original remote. And now we should be able to utilize those buttons. Okay, so our setup works. Let's start the movie and let's see if we fast forward it. Stop it, eject it, close it, and let's see if it's going to go back to previous, if the back is going to allow that. Previous, no. So that is not working. Okay, so maybe it's because this is a recorded DVD, but the original remote isn't doing previous either, and I know return always works on that. So we'll move on. All right, so we're going to add another device. All right, so we're going to search for this one. This one I know did come up, and before I forget, let's just change this name, and that icon is fine. This one did come up, and I'll go ahead. It wasn't mapping right, and I tried making it learn, and this is where I got frustrated and just totally deleted everything, uninstalled everything, and started from scratch. So it shows everything is mapped out here, but there's some things I didn't like about this, and we're going to have to fix that. But first of all, let's confirm that it turns on and functions in some way. All right, so power works. That was a given before, and this takes a little bit because it's old and slow. Pressing the eject button does not work. So I don't know how they have it set up, but that doesn't work. So we're gonna have to come back over. We're gonna tap on Magnavox and then remote keys and then the eject button, learn from original remote. There we go. So we got that successful. Let's check that out and see if that works. And the answer is no, but there's the original remote and that works. So let's try it again. And this is where this really becomes frustrating. Now that one took successful, and okay, so you might have to, redo it a couple of different times. I don't know, but it does get to be a royal pain in the ass. Alright, so I know the channel up and down selected the source. Actually, I just changed my receiver, so I got to change back to Magnavox. And as you can see, this is doing the whole channel bit. And now we're into L1, L2, and input L3. So this is the part that was really frustrating me, because I wanted to use just an input button to cycle through this, and that's what I'm going to try again. So we'll come back over. Alright, so the source button is what cycles the inputs. So this is an input, and we'll learn from IR, and we'll go ahead and make this thing hopefully learn it. Success. But I don't trust that, so... And it did not work. So one thing I did learn just now, the input button and the source button on this remote, when you get a fail, I noticed what you want to do is repress whatever button that you're trying to program, and then make the remote relearn it. And when you get it on the first try, it'll work. Because if you watch this remote now, this is the input button. Now, if I press that, it switches. Before it wouldn't. So there is a delay on this. It's an older machine, but it still works. So that said, if you're having a problem with it, make sure you try to stop it. Don't just keep making it, relearn it, and then say successful, because it really isn't successful. Has to be a bug in the software, and they need to work on that. Alright, so another button I know doesn't work is this little hamburger. We're going to tap that, learn from original, and this setup button here. It doesn't work. It should bring up the menu where you can change the clock and everything, and we'll go ahead and press that. Now that got it on the first time, so if I'm correct, that will bring up the menu for general settings. And it does. So it's definitely, if you're getting a fail, stop what you're doing, repress the button on the app that's on your phone, and then relearn it. If you get it on the first try, it works. So let's check out if the arrows work. They do. Let's check if the OK button works. It does. It's today's date. Let's see if the back button works. And it does. Okay, so now what I want to do is see if it switches from the internal hard drive to the DVD. Those two separate buttons are right down here, and we got to figure out mapping for them. So what I'm thinking about doing is red button hard drive, learn from original remote, and let's see, this is hard drive here. See if we get it on the first time. Yep, okay. Now we're going to use the green for the DVD, and that one is right here. Alright, so those two are successful. It should, on the player itself, switch. So I'm going to press the red one. Doesn't work. Green one doesn't work. The original remote will switch it from hard drive to DVD. Okay, so what I did, and this is for personal reference because I highly doubt you guys are going to have the same thing, but over here where it's hard drive and DVD, I was programming the red for hard drive and the green for DVD. I don't think it much matters at all. These buttons don't care on the app what it is, but what I did do was I pressed the red one and that put it into learning sequence, and then I put DVD over here, and then the green I put as the hard drive, and lo and behold, it worked. So I'm gonna go with it and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm pressing the red, you can see, and probably here, that's DVD. Now if I go and press the green, it goes to hard drive, and the red goes back to DVD. So my advice is, if you're having problems with something, try different things. Alright, so I have another button here, which is the yellow one, and I need to learn title to get into the hard drive. So we're going to click learn, and then we're going to click title. So that said, it was a success. Let's see if it's a success. So right now we are in hard drive, and there we go. So that did work. And if I switch back over to DVD, yeah, that's DVD. Okay, so let's see, we'll open the DVD player up and stick a DVD in. This takes a while, so I'll fast forward it during editing. Alright, so the DVD works, and I don't honestly even use this player, but I like the clock on it. It's convenient, and that's why it's still on my rack. So pause works, stop works. I don't have chapters on this one, so I'm not really worried about it. So I'm going to call that a success. Alright, so I'm going to try the hard drive and see if that plays. Just resume playback. This is from many years ago. So anyway, that seems like it is. Pause works. Fast forward does not seem to be working. Okay, there we go. Instead of the arrow buttons, it's the other ones. And stop. That works. Okay, so now we're going to scroll down here and talk about this. The assign keys. As you can see, when you download from their database, they're highlighted in green. And the ones I programmed are highlighted. You can see it says learned in blue. Macro keys is what we're going to be going on to next, and then your Bluetooth keys will be highlighted in red. So macro, these keys will be, whatever you select will be highlighted in orange. Alright, so before we move on to the macros, you gotta click, for example, TV, okay? We're gonna come back into remote keys, and then we're gonna click on the volume up arrow, and then it's going to be reassign remote key. That's what you want to tap. And then everything we have in here, we're going to go ahead and reassign to the receiver, and we're going to look for volume up. So we want that, and then we're going to click done. That on the TV now is going to be controlled by the receiver's volume. So we got to do the same for the down volume. And this is where it really gets to be a pain in the ass, because you got to scroll through all of this shit. Logitech was just so much better, so much. I can't emphasize how much better it was. All right, so now we're in TV, as you can see, but the volume buttons will be controlled up and down from the receiver. Same thing with the mute button, the mute button. So we're going to reassign that. We're going to go to receiver, and we're going to find mute, and then we're going to click done. So now those buttons should operate with the receiver. We have to click the X button, back, and then we're going to do the same thing for the DVD. Remote keys again, and then CDs don't, the DVD player doesn't have that, so you're just going to click that, and then you're going to reassign, and you're going to click receiver, volume up, done. Now you can see the green arrow, and then for the down, reassign. Help if I click receiver, volume down, done. And I mean, if you're getting the gist of this, you don't have to watch the rest of it. I'm more or less doing this so I remember it. Again, remote keys, I forgot to mute, so we gotta assign that. I'm only trying to help other people out there that don't know. All right, and then even though I do not use the Magnavox, I'm still gonna do it because I'm anal. All right, so now that we have all the volumes, the mutes going to the receiver, we can move on to the macros. Okay, so I kind of made a mistake on the Magnavox, and that's the only one I did. Remote keys, this input button up here, I assigned to L1, 2, and 3. That's a no-no. Don't use your input buttons on any of your devices, and L1, 2, and 3 is going to be cycled through on the channel button for the Magnavox. This input button has to be assigned to the receiver, so we're going to click back, and then we're going to click TV, and you'll see in a moment what I'm talking about. This is already assigned with the input, so we're going to click that, and then we're going to click Learn from Original Remote. But we're not, that's in learning mode right now, but we're not using the TV remote. Instead, we're going to use the receiver remote, and we're going to click Sat TV/cable, and we're going to press that. All right, so that's successful. So now, when I turn the TV on, this input is going to go to Sat TV on the receiver. And what we're going to have to do is do the same for the DVD. So we'll hit remote keys. This one wasn't assigned, so now we got to assign this one with the receiver. So we're going to hit that, and then we're going to hit Learn from Original Remote, and then we're going to press DVD this time. That was successful. And then we're going to back out, and then we're going to do the same thing with the Magnavox, and now you can see why we need to relearn this, because we're relearning it from the receiver itself. So this one, we're just going to use game because that's what my choices are. And that was successful. Now we can come back here, and when you use your Softbaton and you power up, your TV is going to automatically switch your HDMI inputs from your receiver to the proper channels. Alright, so before we get into setting up a macro to turn the TV on with all the components, I'm going to show you how to erase it, because this is a very frustrating type deal, and I can't emphasize how much Logitech was light years ahead of this. So if we click TV and we click remote, you can clearly see that orange. If you remember in the beginning of the video, orange means it's a macro key. So if we tap on that and then we come down here to edit macro for this key, you can see I have a macro type deal set up. So let's back out of here and let's click the orange button and then reassign remote key. So we know we touched the power button and we're going to look for power. We're going to click that, and then up there we're going to click done, and now it's reset. So we have no more macro settings in here at all. Okay, so it turns out that I'm going to have to install my Fire TV, I think, to get this to work right. This is way too long and frustrating. So if you want to remove a device ever, all you're going to do is click on it, tap on it I should say, and then disconnect remote. Confirm, and then it's gone. Up here in the left you're going to click back, and now everything is added air and it is out of the remote. So we're going to click add, and now I want to click Fire TV. We're going to click continue. This screen is simply telling you your smartphone and the remote, there's only one connection for Bluetooth allowed. And then up here on the right hand side, we're going to click next. That's going to unpair the Bluetooth from the smartphone to the remote. I'm not going to read the directions, I'm just going to show you. It's much quicker. Alright, so we're going to scroll over to settings, then we're going to come down to controllers, Bluetooth, devices, and then we're going to click other Bluetooth devices. We're going to click add Bluetooth devices. You see Softbaton, and you can see the devices connected. We're going to switch to the baton, the Softbaton remote. We're going to click home, and you can see that works. We'll check the arrow buttons. Everything seems to be working fine. And now we're going to come back over here. We're going to click in the upper right hand corner done, and we're going to click confirm. Now if you look, we have Fire TV in our remote, but we need to repair the phone to the remote. So we're going to click that minus and E button, pairing, connect, and then we're going to connect our phone to our remote. You can see Fire TV is now in here, and then same deal, you know, you have it's already mapped for you. Alright, so setting this macro key shit up is a real pain in the ass. What we're going to do is we're going to click TV, and that's the first thing that's going to come on. We're going to click remote keys. Then we're going to click the power button on the TV. That's going to pop this screen up. You're going to click edit macro to this key. You're going to see a blank page with a plus. You're going to click that. Over here in the left hand column, you're going to see your list of items. What we're going to do is select TV, power. That's going to add the first thing that's going to get turned on. Then you're going to click the plus sign. We're going to click receiver because that's what we want to power on the second. We're going to click the power button on that. If you notice here, there's a time delay. Yours might vary. Mine needs to be, and you'll see down here where you just scroll, I need to set that to 0 seconds and done. The next thing I need to add is my Fire TV. This is the input button that we set, and if you notice the seconds here, I need to tap on that, and I need to set that to 0 seconds and done. Then we're going to come up over to here, right hand corner, we're going to click save. That's going to download, and now if we press this power button right here, we should turn the TV on, then the receiver, and the Fire Stick should come on. So we'll press the power button. I can clearly see TV and receivers coming on. Fire Stick is on. Now, I do know my Fire Stick doesn't, it goes into sleep mode, so I have to press the select button. So if I know the TV is on and I know the receiver is on, I press select and then I can move around with that. Now that was with the Fire Stick remote, and if you notice, you can hear the buttons, but it's not moving. That's because this right here is set to TV. So in order to use this, which I don't really care about using, I just want this remote to turn everything off and on. If I select Fire TV, now it will move. But I really don't care about that. Main thing is turn everything on at once, and I want it to turn off. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click off. And hopefully it stays off because it kept powering my receiver back up, which was a pain in the fucking ass. Okay, so it looks like everything stayed off. Now we're going to move on and set a macro for the TV and DVD along with the receiver. All right, now to set up some other macro keys, which nobody on YouTube except me is going to tell you. In fact, hardly anyone talks, and when they do talk, they give you half-ass fucking instructions that works for their stuff. And I'm trying to give you a full, detailed thing to walk through everything in case you have different stuff. These procedures will work for you. So we're going to click on TV. We're going to click on remote keys. And down here, I already cleared the red and the green, and by doing that over here on the yellow, same deal for any button. You just click the button and then clear this key. So I freed up the red and the green. I'm going to go ahead, click the red, and I'm going to click reassign. So that allows me to use another power button there. Then up here on the right, we're going to select done. Then we're going to click on that red button, and we're going to click again macro, edit macro to this key. It's going to give us a nice blank page. We click the plus sign. Now, if you notice here, the power is no, because it's already used. Now you click the red button, and you see we added the TV. So over here on the remote, when you click this red button, this is going to be your second macro. Then you click your plus sign, you click your receiver, then you click your power, and I want 0 seconds on mine. Yours will vary. Then we're going to click the plus sign, and we're going to click DVD. Then we're going to click power, and the same deal. I want 0 seconds, and then click done, and don't forget to click the save. It's going to download to the remote. Now, Okay, so everything's off. I'm going to hit the red button. TV's coming on, the receiver's coming on, and the DVD player's coming on. We got to make sure that the DVD or the receiver changes the input to DVD, and it did. So we should see something on the screen in a minute, and we do. Now, it's important to note, on this wheel, you're going to have to scroll down to DVD to operate the controls such as play, pause, etc. Okay, so this last macro for the last device was kind of a pain in the ass, and it took me a very long time to figure it out. Before we go on, if you have more devices, you'll have a yellow and blue, and if you run into any of the problems that I had, you'll know how to address them. So first off, before we do anything, we're going to come back into this Magnavox. We're going to go to remote keys, and we're going to take this input and this pop-up, we're going to clear this key. We're going to then tap it again and reassign it, and we're going to tap on receiver, and then we're going to tap on input game and done. Now we're going to back out, and we're going to go to TV. We're going to click remote keys. So we're going to use the green button for the Magnavox. We're going to create macro for this key. You have that page with the plus sign. First thing we want to do is add the TV, so we come down and tap the green, and that is not tapping. So the reason for that is because I forgot to assign that key, and we need to place power and then done. Now that's green and assigned. Now we can click edit macro, plus sign, and then we come down to the green key. TV's added, receiver, we're going to hit power, we're going to change the time, click done, plus button, Magnavox, we're going to hit power, going to change the time, click done, and we're going to click save. So everything is off, and I'm going to press the green button, TV, receiver, and Magnavox all is on. DVD or the receiver was on DVD, and it does change the game, and there you go. So that works. Everything turns off, and that is your complete and ultimate guide to setting up your components on the Softbaton, inferior product, might I add, to the Logitech Harmony in its entirety, and that is how you go about programming macros. You have two more that you can do. So I hope this helped you out, because it took me a hell of a long time to get this video done and figure this out.